I know my mom, she used to take classes, psychology classes, and one day she brought a book home, and I was like in the 5th grade, 4th grade, and I just reading through it, and that sparked an interest in psychology for me. And now I'm a psychology major. I'm looking forward to, helping kids with psychological problems. And just because that book she brought home one day completely changed my life and, built a path for my career goal.
I know for me, one day after school, I was walking to my car and I see a note in the windshield wiper, and I was like, what is this? I was like, please don't be a ticket. Like, what could possibly be wrong? Because juniors aren't technically supposed to park. So I was like, oh no. And I just pick it up and it says, remember to smile. And it just had a smiley face. It didn't say who it was from. It didn't say my name. It just said, remember to smile. And even though I had no idea who it was from, it made a big difference in my day because I was like, oh, that's so nice. Someone just put a note in my car. And it was just really a cute thing to do for someone.
That reminds me of, I was eating Dove chocolate one day, and me and my, now she's my best friend. We were eating chocolate, and we opened up the wrapper, and inside they have little messages, and it said, the best holiday decoration is a smile. And we both had the same one, so we became best friends. So just a little saying brought us together, and we became best friends for that.
I know that a couple years ago, at a conference that I go to, or to camp, there was a ropes course that I wasn't confident enough to do. I got sort of up, and then I freaked out and had a slight problem with the tree. But afterwards, when I finally got back down to the ground, one of the counselors was telling me, the main counselor, he was telling me that, it's okay to be afraid, it's okay to be scared, and he gave me so many confident words of wisdom. And it took me 4 years to get back up in that tree, but I actually completed the ropes course about a couple weeks ago, and it was really, really poignant and powerful to me because when I came back down, he was there, and I thanked him because what he said to me all those years ago, that little 5 minutes of, that little 5-minute blurb really affected me and gave me the confidence 4 years later to do what I had to do.
That kind of reminds me of a time when I was going to audition for a show, and I was scared. It was my first show I was auditioning for, and this girl, she came out and she just started talking to me, and she told me there's nothing to worry about, you're gonna be okay. And I went in there and I was totally not afraid anymore. It was great.
The parable of the mustard seed in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, reminds us that something small can later grow into something great.
Next, Marie tells us how a small 4th grade ocean cleanup project spread to other communities.
When I was in 4th grade, we took a field trip and we cleaned up the bay. And we all had to do it, and then we had to write papers on it, and no one was looking forward to writing the papers. But after that experience of actually going and cleaning up the bay, I felt good. I felt like I did something important, something that mattered. And it made me want to volunteer more. So I went and I worked with my church youth group, and I worked with less fortunate children in a summer camp. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to help people in any way that I could. When I did that project with my 4th grade class and we went to clean the bay, what we didn't know was that the essays we had to write and the projects we had to do were being submitted into a competition for a children's magazine. And we were one of 10 winners, and our project got featured in the magazine. And sure enough, the same project started to happen all over the place. We were one of the first towns to paint those little fish on the sewers that say, no dumping. And you see that everywhere you go now. And to think that I was one part of that, it's kind of cool. And that just goes to show you that even 4th graders, people in elementary school, and even younger, can affect people's lives and affect the community and give a positive influence and example for everyone else.
Last season we did an episode about going green, and I know that inspired me and my whole entire family. And I know it's going to inspire more people all around the world to go green, and that's really going to spread all over the place now, and it's a big movement. So have you guys ever been a part of something that started out small and then inspired a greater awareness or impact on the community?
Well, in my science classroom 2 years ago, we decided to do something for the veterans who passed away. So we made a tree, and each leaf we had a different veteran's name on it. And then we posted it on the internet just to show everybody about it. and then it got in like the newspapers, and then everybody started giving us money to give to the military and like give them food and everything. So we started sending over food, and it was really cool.
That reminds me of, at my school, my friends and I started this thing called Sober Club, and it's mostly for underclassmen to show them that you don't have to drink to be cool in school. And now it's blossomed off into this whole thing where we're going to do a walk for MAD, and we're going to open it up to other schools and other teens. So it's just showing that like one small idea is now just becoming this really great thing.
In my Spanish class, three of my classmates were going on an exchange to Peru. And there are 2 schools near where they were going, and one was outside of Lima in a less fortunate area. So what we did, we raised awareness, and we got all these school supplies for the children, and we also wrote little greeting cards. And so all of the children would get like a greeting card and either like a notebook with colored pencils, and it really made those children in that community really happy to know that someone was caring about them.
I know a friend of mine, his brother has diabetes, so he started this group called Team Brotherly Love. And what we would do is we would go around to cities like Princeton, and we would just collect money for the Junior Diabetes Research Foundation. And it's eventually grown so big, now they're raising a lot of money on behalf of diabetes, so it's great.
I know at that conference I go to, it's a week-long conference, and during that week we talk about respect, relationships, and positive values, life skills, and things like that. And in that short amount of time, these kids go back to their communities, their cities, their towns, their schools, and they take the initiatives and they take the learning that and the skills they've gotten from this camp and apply it to their real-life situations.
Sometimes the task at hand can seem overwhelming.
But even doing a small part towards solving a problem is better than doing nothing.
Next, Marie tells us how a group she worked with over a weekend raised $96,000 for Alex's lemonade stand.
And this was just from people's spare change.
One of the people who's had a huge impact on my life is Liz Scott. It's the mother of Alex Scott, who's the girl who founded Alex's lemonade stand. I had the wonderful opportunity to meet her several years ago, and she truly touched my heart. The way that she can go on after her daughter lost her life and still carry on with her daughter's organization takes such strength, and I think that everyone should strive to do something like that. Liz Scott did a presentation about her daughter. There was a slideshow involved, and everyone in the audience was crying, and she didn't shed a tear. She was so strong, and you could see the pain on her face. But at the same time, there was a joy shining through that her family could touch so many lives. That weekend, the group I was working with raised $96,000 for Alex's lemonade stand. And that was just people's spare change. Spare change, little things make a big difference.
That's really amazing, to raise $96,000 and to do it all in spare change.
It's also amazing that the organization, Alex's Lemonade Stand, was started by Alexandra Scott, who set up a lemonade stand in her front yard when she was just 4 years old to raise money to find a cure for cancer.
Alex died in 2004, but her memory lives on in the organization named for her, and according to the website, has raised more than $25 million.
Again, proving that the littlest things and some of the littlest people can make a big difference.
We can all do our part in helping towards the greater good.
Next, the teens on the street tell us some of the little things that we can do every day which can make a huge difference.